Hello, I'm Gabrielle Kennedy. I am the editor-in-chief of Da magazine, and today we have Shin Yang, one of the participants in the upcoming chapter of GLUE Amsterdam. Welcome, Shin.
Hi, Gabrielle. Nice to meet you and really nice to join this interview. I feel really honored.
It's nice to see you. Let's start by getting a little introduction from you about your work.
So my work is mainly about how I transform the daily object, usually the imported daily consuming object like shampoo or desk, all small commercial products in Taiwan. Because the colonial history in Taiwan throughout the past 300, 400 years, we are deeply put our mind on try to get approval from the external world. And the most prominent feature of this is we consume a lot of imported products. And I try to collect all the stories from people around me, and then transform them into kind of absurd little stories in this box called Kamishibai, which is the former colonial tools from the Japanese colonial era. And this is a propaganda tool back then. But for this project, I want to recontextualize this box and then to make it more like a theater that is voicing out the real people in Taiwan, what is their life experience.
Okay, so we've heard quite a lot over the last 2 or 3 years about autoethnography, which I think is the approach you use yourself. Could you explain to some people who aren't familiar with that what it actually means?
Yeah, so basically it means the artists or the researcher, they use their own life personal experience and they use it as a research material, and based on that and use themselves as the field, almost like anthropologies, and then record and then to try to find out the context of why what kind of structure that person is being put in, and then to figure out to use the story to to find out what makes this experience happening.
Right. And were you very political as a child growing up? So when you were surrounded by these objects, were you already aware of Taiwan's position in the world? Is this something that happens around the family table discussing these issues, or was it more something that as you started in your art education you became more aware of and then reflected back on and thought more about how you were being influenced as you were growing up?
Yeah, so actually I kind of grew this awareness after I came to Netherlands, because back home people think it's a very usual. People don't have the second thought on that. People just think it's commercial products, so it must be neutral to use. It doesn't have any political implies. But coming to Netherlands, I figure out that this daily consumption is actually shaping my own identity, and then that makes me confused that after coming to Netherlands, how can I present myself as a Taiwanese if most of the product I use, it's mostly from other countries, and I don't really know how to present myself. So that's the starting point of this project. And looking back, talking to my family and friends, I figured that we have this common obsession of this foreign products, and then I kind of find this quite absurd and quite interesting. So I try to transform this emotion that we all share in Taiwan into little stories.
And is it? I mean, with globalization, we're all of us, no matter what culture we are raised in, are surrounded by products from around the world. So do you think that it's very specific to the fact that you're from Taiwan and Taiwan has experienced this very specific type of colonial history, that you connect to it more deeply?
Yeah, of course, as the colonial history is like providing the space of our oppression on on this on this foreign products. But of course, the globalization and now the geopolitics like happening between the US and China also kind of enhance the situation because as people may know, the politics in Taiwan is very tricky that we have to kind of choose a side. And now Taiwan is pro-US, which is pro-Western country. And to do that, we kind of enforce our own mindset in a more Western value way. But at the same time, due to the colonial history, we kind of also lost our own cultural roots. And that's so it's like kind of like the situation, the modern situation, and then the past history, it's all enhancing on this oppression and on this kind of lost identity situation.
And when did you come to the Netherlands, and which school did you study in?
I studied in Design Academy Eindhoven and I graduated last year. So this is actually my third year in Netherlands.
And was it the culture in Eindhoven that really helped you develop this way of thinking?
Yes, I would say yes, because in being Netherlands, finally able to position myself in the more observing position to looking back on my own background and my own culture. And like as a foreigner here, I will be constantly being asked that, okay, who are you, and what is Taiwanese, and what are you, what's your background, and then all this question kind of make me reflect, and also school in Eindhoven is also really critical. So yeah, it really all helps me to reshape my own identity.
Yeah, that's really really powerful. So, were you as connected or as aware or as sensitive to your personal relationship with Taiwan's history before this education, or was it something that really developed once you were in the school?
Before coming here, I already like more or less connected to this history part because it's politics is kind of the daily life as a Taiwanese, because you always have to choose a side to keep your survival somehow. You have to make a point and find your own position in this geopolitics. So yes, I'm aware of this before, but I never really think about that. Even in the art part or in the cultural daily life part, how can I also rethink or make how can I put this, like how can I rethink my daily life or put my daily life more fit into my identity, not just thinking it in a more politically way. So this artwork is actually my experiment to reflect on what is my daily life like as a Taiwanese.
For viewers, could you please describe or present some of the objects that you think reveal something of your upbringing and of Taiwan's history?
Yeah, so I think I cannot, I cannot share the screen right now, but yeah, also in my work, I've showed this one of this Japanese shampoo. It's it's a very modern products, but also it can really tell that how the modern Taiwanese girls are were deeply influenced by the beauty standard in Japan. Because this shampoo, like especially promoted as like how can they make your hair silky like a Japanese girl's hair? Because in Taiwan it's a tropical island, so your hair can be so frizzy easily, and it's because of the weather, and then you cannot really do things with it. But with this brand promotion, you can feel that okay, they try to promote you that you can have this tan, more like silky, smooth hair, just like Japanese girls, but they have different weather for sure, so they can have that kind of hair. It's not about Jane, and so I would say that many different generations are all obsessed with this idea of beauty, and so we try to achieve that, and it's so people are really like willing to pay a lot of money on this specific shampoo that is very like from Japan, and they want this shampoo that is have to be made in Japan because this brand is already big enough. They try to locally merchandise it in Taiwan, so they have the factory in Taiwan, but they don't want the local made one, even if it's from the same brand, same formula. So yeah, I think that's one of the thing, but I don't know if this example is explained enough.
No,
If you
I also
want,
like the way that it's not just the objects or products from different countries that have affected Taiwan's history, but it's also, it seems that you've appropriated different aspects of those cultures and or use those as a tool to communicate your own story. So, for example, the kamishibai I read that you were using in one of your presentations. Can you explain what a kamishibai is and why you chose that as a tool in your own presentations?
Yeah, so kamishibai, it was originally from Japan, and it's actually like a small theater that and a candy guy, he would put it on the back of his bike, and then while he sell the candy, this is a way to attract all the children and the school kids to come around him, because he would talk about some children tales or folk tales while selling the candies. So it kind of used by the Japanese colonial government when they are still ruling Taiwan. They use it as a propaganda tool. So they embed the empire thinking, the empire propaganda inside all the children's stories in kamishibai. And then they also ask the candy man to tell the story on the street, and then also ask the school teacher to perform this theater in schools. So I try to retake this tool, but reverse the purpose. It's not, I want this kamishiba right now, it can be convey the voice from Taiwanese people instead of the voice from the government, from the colonial government. And also retell this kind of like the influence, like keep going on in the from the colonial era and until today is I try to use this, recontextualize these tools, and then try to retell all those daily stories in life within this via this tool. So
yeah, this sounds really interesting. Yeah. So during Glue Amsterdam, where will viewers be able to see your work?
Yes, definitely. So you can see my work and the walk, and there will be you'll see the Kamishibai Theater and the tapestry, and also during the exhibition, I will do 1 or 2 story sessions. So please welcome. You can see the Kamishibai performance.
Well, thank you so much for sharing this with us today, and we look forward to seeing the results of this research during GLUE.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.